Hey, TOB fans, Julian here, joined by Jeremy as usual. Just checking in for a bit of a bonus podcast where we cover a variety of things. We talk about the Lantern's first reveal, obviously close to Jeremy's heart. We talk a little bit about Marvel and the Oscars, which were just this last Sunday. So lots to cover, short format. Let's jump right in. We'll start with Spider-Man. Have you seen the new animated show at all? The My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
I saw some clips of it, but
it's pretty good.
Like some of it looked like it was good, but some of it was like whatever. I don't know.
There is some whatever in there. It's no doubt. But also, to be fair, there's some whatever in the 90s cartoon too. So, but I will say this. They do this interesting thing with they like remix the Spider-Man origin in an interesting way. I feel like Spider-Man can't escape this like Spider-Verse thing. And I feel like it's not healthy for the character. I think it's like slowly poisoning it.
Well, that's comic books as a whole.
Yeah, well, maybe
like the medium of comic books is already in that has been in that problem for a while. It's all multiverse. Every event, right? Like you have me obsessed with Green Lantern and the Blackest Night event because it was like an actual meaningful, mysterious.
Well, to be fair, even in that Blackest Night event, they do weird stuff like there's live and dead versions of characters, and there's like, right. So it's like it's not like they kind of get their cake and eat it too. It gets to be super comic booky weird. We're just not doing it in the multiverse way, you know?
Yeah, but that's why that one succeeds and is good. Because it's not multiverse. It's universe.
I think it breaks down when you get to the Necron stuff, and it doesn't work as well at that point. But early it does. I think you're right in the sense that it's like it feels more weighty because you're dealing with, characters that like Black Hand as like this through line character that died before and then comes back and then plays this role. It feels more like it's. Like original MCU stuff, which is like where something that happened in the first movie actually has meaning and matters later in another movie, and you understand that connection.
And most comic book events, even DC, it's all multiversal stuff now.
And we talked about the recent 3-part DC Crisis on Infinite Earths animated film, and they are the worst perpetrators of it. It's so bad. No character has any meaning whatsoever. It just becomes like splash page after splash page. And splash pages are cool, but if you only have splash pages, it's a gimmick.
That was one of the first stories to do it too, though. So it's kind of a weird thing where they're just trying to celebrate its own history, but it's being released at a point in time where
it's oversaturated.
It's like, it's oversaturated. And then you're also retooling it into a new medium that is only so many hours and can only deal with so many characters, where the comic books were many issues, maybe even some side issues.
They can be as long as they need it to be. And this
and then you sit on a issue for a month or whatever.
Yeah, well. And this goes back to what we talked about within release concepts about even TV shows. It's like, give me week to week because it gives you time to think and contemplate things. And Severance is great right now.
That's why with books, I'll buy the collected and then if I like it a lot, I'll buy the single issues, because it's almost like you have the option to consume it in two different ways, like kind of like the original way, and then just a collected way to get the story. So, like with Blackest Night in particular, I have like basically every issue from the main book and the side books. And then all those issues are printed, that year, have all the ads inside them.
Right.
Have like the proper like cliffhanger ending at the end. So it's like kind of cool to like digest it in that way. And then you have that physicality of it, like kind of like perusing through the issues like at a record store or whatever, and then things like that. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like. And I feel like Marvel's aware of this, and they're in the process of trying to, at least like Feige's aware of this problem. He's on the case, I think, ever since they were like...
People can have all these notions and opinions, but, you're up, then you're down, you're up. Like, look at what's the last offering from Kevin Feige? It's Captain America.
Yes, but that movie's been in development for 4 years or something like 3.5 years. So,
but like,
it comes from a different era.
Why do we even accept something like? What is that even like?
Okay, yeah. So have you seen it, by the way?
No.
Okay, I have, and it is a bit of a nothing burger of a movie, unfortunately. It, and like maybe it doesn't help that I know that it was cut to pieces and like reshot 1,000 times and all that stuff. But I feel like when you're watching that movie, you can see that like even if you didn't know that was was a thing, which most people probably don't. I think you could see that movie and be like, something feels wrong. Like it doesn't. It's there's something broken with this movie. And and if as someone who does know, like was aware of all those things, I think Captain America Brave New World is fundamentally broken. Like it is a maybe one of the most best examples of the like studio meddling, lack of creative control, producer driven MCU film.
Yeah, made by committee.
Right. And it's just so
who think they know the audience and have the answers. And then Kevin Feige at this point in time is almost he got kind of lucky almost with like the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool of it all.
Oh, because if they hadn't had that, they would be like.
It's just like that wasn't like from the ground up production from his brain. That was incorporating existing IP / character in the fourth wall breaking way, in the very nature of the character, and also because those movies were successful. There's no point in redoing that. So, and then,
they also wrote on the coattails of X-Men stuff, right? So it's like,
which Feige worked on.
Yeah. So it's I'm not taking anything away. They still get points for that, but I think I am more optimistic about Fantastic Four, especially, but even also what's it called? The next one coming out with the villain Suicide Squad movie. What's that one called? The Thunderbolts. Right? That movie I think is actually going to be better. I think it's going to be better than like most of the like last.
I think you might be way off here.
I could be way off, but based on what I'm seeing, like the way it looks, some of the action that we're seeing, it looks better. Like, you don't think it looks good? I think it looks better.
I think it's just like tone. I think there's like the tone is just completely. It's like doesn't even have an identity. Like it's trying to look like a good movie, whatever. But like I don't know if that's going to match.
It looks like it has the same color grading as Iron Man, but has the
it's like
stylistic colors of Iron Man, but has like the tone of a Suicide Squad. Right?
Yeah. So to me, it's like I don't know about that whatsoever. It needs to be more of an exciting, fresh movie, and it's like they're trying to do this like artsy like look to it. It's like it just looks muddy and ugly. In my opinion.
Would you rather it look like Brave New World, which looks like hot garbage? It looks so bad, Jeremy. Like I can't. There's sequences in that movie, and I'm just like, I can't believe that we're like,
we're forgetting Secret Wars,
2025.
Secret Wars. They just completely wasted Samuel Jackson.
Oh yeah, people. Sorry, Secret Invasion. You mean that movie? That show is so bad, so bad. Jeremy, this. I think we
just forget about these things.
The general sentiment is, I think, that Bob Iger is trying to like fix the things that the other Bob did, Chapek, and there was this mandate for content, and because it was like this extreme fire hose of we need to just make stuff, the quality inherently was down. And now that they're like, whoa, pull back the reins, quality is actually more important than quantity, as we all know.
But that's not what Gunn's kind of saying for some of the DC stuff, right?
He thinks it's quality.
Well, they got quality, and the writing is always going to be his thing. But like in terms of like the budgets or whatever, it's not like they're not going crazy anymore. Like it's a different.
Well, speaking of lower budgets, you have Lantern news for me, Jeremy.
Well, I don't have it for you. James Gunn has it. He just posted a photo of Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan. Go ahead and take a gander at your first look at Lanterns. See what you think there.
Okay. I'm pulling it up as we speak here. Actually, I'm not sure what I should be looking for. I typed in James Gunn Lanterns. Maybe that's not. You used to tell me I didn't know how to search for anything, and that kind of gets stuck in my head, and I feel like it's affected my ability to like Yeah, I think you got in my head. What should I be searching for here? What's the?
Okay, you still don't want to search things. If you just
Oh
search
no, I
lanterns on
found it.
X, you'll just see a picture of two actors
Yes.
on a
Okay.
road.
Yes. Okay.
And
I'm a little sorry. I'm sorry.
Max
You're
tweeted
right. I'm
Max
underwhelmed.
tweeted Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan, Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart. Lanterns, the new HBO original series from DC Studios, is now in production.
Okay, so
So I think
you want my instant reaction to this, or
sure.
yeah, I'm underwhelmed. I feel like if you're going to use, if a first look has got to be more interesting than just two actors walking down a street.
So
in
that's the thing,
desert.
though. With the gun offering, the first looks have just been horrendous, like on all
You think they're
fronts.
dropping the ball in the first looks?
100%. Remember the first look was the Superman, like, remember the suit? We're like, it was almost like a red alert button went off, but we were kind of like trying to remain calm, but like all the memes, right? He's like putting his boots on while like Brainiac
Yes, I
is
do
wreaking
remember
havoc.
that. Yes.
There's that meme where like you could see Henry Cavill outside the window, like saving the day already. There's just stuff like that, right? But but we had to keep in mind here is it's an HBO series. We've known that they're taking cues from True Detective in terms of like this kind of buddy duo murder mystery. We know Damon Lindelof is involved with the series, which is huge.
Yep.
Huge Green Lantern fan, but we've never really seen him take part in that. We've seen him do Watchmen.
I literally just listened to him on a podcast today talking about Severance. He is a genius, basically, in my opinion.
A lot of people love it in Severance, but there are some people who think that the current season is undoing a lot of magic that the first one had. But I have no idea because I don't watch it. So
it's great. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but I think that's untrue. I think that it still remains one of the best shows on television right now.
Sure.
Maybe, and like up there in terms of all-time drama mystery shows. It's so good. So I hard disagree with the people who think it's not doing as well. So
sure. And then also just with the notion of True Detective alone, it's like, man, like for me, I've always said it's like my favorite like season of television, like from beginning to end, the intrigue, the mystery, the performances, the writing, the back and forth with the timelines, was just so appealing to me and so cool. I mean,
do you think we're going to do the dueling timelines in this? It'd be cool. Two characters.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay.
But and then obviously, right, we've known Kyle Chandler, huge fan of him from the Friday Night Lights show and some other movies. Super underrated actor, underutilized, but seems to have just kind of found his way on like TV, I guess, mostly.
What's crazy to me, Jeremy, is that like he's clearly like on the much older side than I think most people.
So that's the thing. So he's 60 years old, right? So it's not the thing is with this show, I think it's not the Green Lantern show you expected, but it might be the Green Lantern show.
It's not the one you want.
We might need
necessarily. Yeah.
Because again, we've been talking about, Ryan Reynolds and how it just left it devastated that IP, that character, that world for decade plus to come. The character was just it fell off tremendously, even though people like myself, like you, we know the source material, some of the recent runs, and just the possibility of that character in that world. But it's cool that they're kind of just taking a grounded approach. But what does that mean? Is it going to be fantastical? Is it going to be other rings? Are they going to use their powers? But apparently, the showrunner says that they will use their powers. It might focus them on the job, but out of the uniform or something like that.
Right.
More so.
More detective work, really put in the cop and space cop.
And then again, it's like if you're going to launch a new world and it's a reboot, it's like, hey, well, you're Hal Jordan's 60. Like, what's going on there? So, but then you have Aaron Pierre, who's this gorgeous man who is just our new Jon Stewart, which is very exciting.
Is he even 30 years old? No way to know. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he just nails that action star hero type 100%. Look. And
it just really. It's a massive age gap between those two, which almost implies, though, because
trainer.
Okay, how's it work, Jeremy?
He's a new recruit.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like in DC canon, obviously Hal Jordan, obviously ignoring Alan Scott for a moment, but right. So you have first Green Lantern, human Green Lantern is Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the second? Guy Gardner?
I think it is Guy, but he gets hit by a bus or something like that really, really quick.
That's right.
So then John
That's right.
Stewart
The
has to come in.
funniest. Yeah, that's. I mean,
And
there's the
then
one
John
punch
Stewart,
Batman
it's
moment too.
like
Yeah.
it's like obviously very like race driven, political driven. Just in the time it was
Right.
all.
But he
being
was
done.
the third, or was Rayner
Yes.
for before that?
No, Rainer's completely lost. That's when DC completely lost hope in Green Lantern. The book
Lost the
wasn't
thread.
selling, and they
Right.
decided to make Hal Jordan evil, and he killed everyone. And then Kyle Rayner was kind of the replacement.
Right. Okay.
And that's why another reason why I like Green Lantern so much is just that retcon itself is like to me the coolest retcon
It's
ever.
well executed retcon.
Yeah,
certainly up there.
The fact that it wasn't Hal Jordan, it was an entity, the fear entity, Parallax, kind of messing with him at the time, and then that then in turn was sprouted into the War of Light, and then the Blackest Night, and that whole major comic event that spanned the whole DC universe, and at a point in time where Green Lantern was the number one selling book over Batman, Superman, all that stuff. It was the peak Green Lantern time, 2009. Yeah, it was all building up to that Ryan Reynolds movie, and they shot the bed. But the animated series did not, on the other hand. But that only got 26 episodes.
Yes, I know we've had a back and forth on this. I don't think I have nothing against it. I just don't think it looks very good. I think that's my.
That's funny. I forgot to message you. Someone because they also announced a Lanterns animated series called My Adventures with Green Lantern. Supposedly they're going to be starting off with Jessica Cruz, which is kind of so whatever for me. But
what do you feel? I was going to ask you what you felt about Baz and Cruz as the kind of like modern Lanterns.
Oh, it's just to me it just sucks.
You don't like either of them?
It's absolutely terrible. Because I have the entire run, right? Like basically leading up to like Brightest Day, and then the whole New 52, and then the War of the Green Lanterns, and then Rise of the Third Army, I think, and the First Lantern. Simon Baz is all in there. Jessica Cruz is all in there. Then they have their own book called Green Lanterns, where it's the two of them. But then
I think Jessica Cruz is cool because her thing started with the Power Ring from the other universe. I think.
Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Then you have the animated movie where they dive into that versus the Fatal Five, which is cool.
Yes. Yeah. That is cool.
But when I hear like the new animated series, it's like
DC in like DC canon, DC animated canon is the Fatal Five, basically. Isn't that weird?
Well, not necessarily. Like the Watchtower database, they
was originally made
do all
to
the content on the canon stuff. They know the actual truth.
Yeah, it is. It's like you're right. The Watchtower stuff is wild because ultimately they're able to like come to multiple conclusions at once, and it never really matters that much. It's like in some way you could consider it canon, in other ways and by the letter of the law it's not. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. We spent 40 minutes talking about this to get to that conclusion. He's a very smart guy, but his videos are just a little long. Do you notice that he's wearing his ring in this? Of
course,
first
I do.
Look image. Okay,
obviously. I noticed absolutely.
Here's
everything.
What I would have done differently. Yeah. Okay. So he's got the jacket, which is reminiscent of the bomber jacket, but not quite the same.
Yeah, it's all dirty. It's too long. It's covering his hand where you should see his full hand instead of his fingers poking out with the ring. Terrible.
Yeah, it is. His sleeves are too long. That is weird, right? Why does it look like he's wearing his dad's jacket? Well, maybe it is his dad's jacket.
No, but if it's his dad's jacket, it would look like an actual pilot jacket, like a bomber jacket with like the thing.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
This is like a homeless person's jacket.
I mean, you're right about that too. Here's what I would have done. I would have just, it's cool to have the shots of your main characters. As we've talked about, very pro character driven.
And also, the show just started shooting like 2 weeks ago, so we live in a weird timeline where
show me the lantern, show me the ring. That's what people want to see right now.
You don't. To me, I don't want to see anything. But again, it's almost like you got to lay out your breadcrumbs of the expectations now, because, like you said, like your initial reaction, like think about what everyone is feeling, like the difference there, right? Because I can see both sides. I could also agree that this is the worst ever first look for a Green Lantern series ever. Absolutely terrible.
The only green in the entire shot is that one little dot on his hand.
That's not the bearing at all. But it's just like, what is this? Like, I know these characters. I know where they've been and where they could go. I know their stories, but like the average person doesn't. They just see two dudes on a road, and like they know the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie potentially, and the bomb disaster that was, and it being made fun of through Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
Just the butt of the joke, nonstop, right? When this character should be like up there with the Trinity, essentially.
So do you think that gets it? Like, does that eat at you a bit? Like, you feel like
No. I have fun with that because like I've already encapsulated my time and my era with Green Lantern in that kind of Jeff Johns run, but that run is reflective of the character from the very beginning,
right?
And how he kind of brings the whole history involved with it, right? Plus the retcon of the character itself, and not making the character a shitty character that just went evil, but a whole thing about it, right?
Right, but you know you're comfortable in your own skin because you understand that it's cool. But does it bother you that no one else does?
No.
And like, because I think ultimately the thing is, Jeremy, like, who's the audience for this image?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They have to figure out a way to have a low budget series. They have to redeem Green Lantern. They have to do all these things. But then it's almost like you got to do the subversion type thing, but you got to nail that plan.
I don't know how you can do a low budget Green Lantern show unless it's like literally like we're on Earth, we're not using our powers, which is like, then is it even a Green Lantern show? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. That's the thing that they all signed on to do. They think it's clever. They think it's cool. They think it serves the character in the world.
Maybe it'll work.
And it's a different slice of it, which I could appreciate. But on the other hand, it's like Hal Jordan is 60. It's like, what does that mean? But then it's like, well, with that lore in and of itself, it's kind of like with Snyder and the Robins, right? He kind of cut off all like the multiple Robins as even being a thing, and it was just one, which is kind of like probably the proper way to do it if you're going to just make like 6 movies.
Right, but a little disappointing, like,
for as a comic purist, sure. But then but then how often are you just gonna like go for the comic purists out there that read all the issues and know all the Robins?
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? And then but with Green Lantern, it was cool when like, because Hal went bad, they killed him off. They wanted Kyle. It was almost like a replacement. But then the 4 corpsmen, like the human Green Lanterns, all became like a dynamic in and of itself on their own through all the events after Green Lantern Rebirth that led into Blackest Night. So to me, like that's the exciting nature of Green Lantern, is that
you can have
the dichotomy between the 4 different lanterns, where they go, how they achieve different ranks within the Corps, who when they lose their rings, when they change sides, all these things, right? So
an old Hal Jordan gives you the runway for more inter-lantern dynamics, right? Where if you've
the thing we're supposed to know though is that he's just seasoned and he's seen a lot of shit, which is also cool,
right? And the other thing that's cool about Green Lantern is that you don't actually need to be that strong. You don't need to be. You could be a 60-year-old man, and as long as you have a Green Lantern ring, you can still be badass.
It's the most powerful weapon in the universe, is what it's labeled basically. And that's why Hal Jordan is such a cool character in my eyes, because the ring, there's 2 ways to think about it. You could think that Abin Sur just like choose the closest person or whatever, or choose, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the Guardians also have to have this whole thing where they have to like accept the choice. And that's why like the Green Lantern First Flight animated movie is so cool, because it just shoots Hal into the adventure from the get-go when he gets the ring.
Voiced by who in that movie, by the way?
Christopher Maloney.
Okay.
Who is in Law and Order?
I thought it was Nathan Fillion, but he does a lot of the voices later, right?
Yeah, he does he does Hal and Guy all over the place.
Yeah.
And now he's live action
both
Guy.
Of those. Now he is actually just Guy Gardner. He could have also been a Hal. Like, you could have swapped that for Hal, and it could have worked if you wanted to go that different route. But like this gives it, I feel like, a little bit more gravitas. I feel like,
Yeah, because Kyle Chandler could have done the young Hal very well. I guess Nathan Fillion maybe,
but so could Nathan Fillion. That's why
to me, Nathan Fillion is more of the jokier kind of actor.
I agree. So
I think it lends to Guy a bit more, because
people try to make. Okay, this is what irks me all the time, is that like, not just from and maybe it started with the Green Lantern film with Ryan Reynolds, but there's this like desire to make Green Lantern like a funny character, and it's like that doesn't. It's just so counterintuitive.
No, that's just the Robert Downey Jr. of it all.
But like, we don't need. Yeah, but it was, man, it's crazy. Like,
but the thing is, in the comics, it wasn't necessarily. It was you have Guy to be there too.
Yeah, but
to be
Guy
the
could
funny
be
one.
that, could fill that role. But in the
Yeah,
movie, it's like, oh well, we
because you only had the
want to have
one.
our cake and eat it too.
That's why, like, it's almost like the mythos of Green Lantern should have just evolved to the Four Corpsmen. Then you have that backstory, like, kind of hear how they're going with it. But it's almost to the point where John Stewart is a rookie, maybe potentially in this version.
And I think that'd be cool. I mean, I will say this: John Stewart has one of
Hoosier.
the coolest like origins, like Earth-based origins for a Green Lantern, right? And like his backstory is pretty cool, and like how he combines his military knowledge and his architectural knowledge together. It's really cool, right? So if
Mhm.
you explore that, I think there's like lots to mine on that front. I will say that I think it's very tempting when you're making Green Lantern or you're like writing Green Lantern, especially to say this ring lets you literally go anywhere in the galaxy. Why are we staying on Earth? But there is a lot of interesting stories you can tell with Green Lanterns on Earth that doesn't require you to leave the planet. And we've seen that in animated shows in the past, actually. So I think potentially there's something here, right? To do that more.
To me, honestly, it is the most exciting thing in this new DCU so far. Like, Superman doesn't really excite me. I feel like we're going to move past that pretty quick. Supergirl seems whatever. I haven't read that Tom King run, but Tom King is a part of the show too. I don't know if you know what Tom King is, but he, as of recent years, he's become super prominent in a
As
lot
a
of
writer?
a lot of DC comic stories. And then James Gunn
Okay.
brought him into the writers' room when they were coming up with a lot of the stuff. And then if you go online, it's like with anybody, he has his fans and his haters too. And I haven't really figured out where the truth lies on both sides because I haven't really read any of his runs. But he clearly has done a lot of runs, and he's been in charge of a lot of events over the DC years as of late.
Okay, he did Vision and Mr. Miracle. Those are what they're credited.
Yeah, he did that one too for Marvel. He did a recent one with Batman and its villains. It was pretty cool. It was like the It was like the Joker versus the Riddler, and like
that's cool. Play with the like.
And then Tom King also used to work for the CIA or the FBI or something like that.
Oh, okay. So he's also an ex-spy or something.
Yeah, so he brings that. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty cool like concept in and of its own. I mean, listen, I think we're all have our concerns about when comic book writers get more involved in the movie making process. We saw how that worked out in the past. Sometimes better than others. With Green Lantern, that experience was not good, and neither was it for Wonder Woman 84. I was actually having a discussion on Blue Sky the other day about Wonder Woman 84. There's some people out there defenders of that movie, by the way.
No, you never need to watch that movie again.
Unless that's not true. If you want to have a really unhinged experience watching a truly manic version of Pedro Pascal, you could go watch Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, he's got some. Yeah, but sure.
I could save you. I could save everyone the time and just tell you to watch the.
There's like all the DC like movies, like The Flash, the second Aquaman, Wonder Woman 1984, Blue Beetle, Shazam. There's all these like weird supercuts going around now of those movies, and like they're just god awful, like ugly, gross, just despicable, like smears of shit.
Why do you think it? Like, how does that happen? Like, and that because that I mean,
because there it is the competitor going up against the set in stone standard of Marvel, right? We know this, and it's coming up with your answer. Like, what the answers are going to be. Well, what the audience wants. It's like, no, you don't. Like, Marvel can have very good educated guesses, and they can go along with their storylines, and they know what people are into, and like at one point in time they had a lot of people, and maybe they still do here and there, but like you don't always know exactly what they want. And then if you go backwards like that and you make the movie by committee, it's just going to be you're gonna see that difference. Like,
so
the new Captain
maybe it's
America
a question
movie.
of it's not the executives thinking they know what the audience wants. It's like, hey, there's a creative force. It's a director, it's a writer.
Yeah, totally. You have to.
They have a concept of what they.
Yeah, you have to
trust them.
You got to trust. You got to trust whoever is at the helm, basically, right? And it's not that easy, I guess. But then that person has to be the right person too, and it has to come with that passion and that desire and that need to tell that story.
I mean, people don't want to give up control. I think the craziest story I heard this week was that Christopher Nolan had a meeting about directing the next James Bond movie, but turned it down because they weren't willing to give him final cut, which is insane. Jeremy, imagine having the best director in the world in your...
Yeah, they're just stupid. That's Jeff Bezos and Amazon, all of them, right?
You don't trust Christopher Nolan to deliver. Even
but now
it's like
that's the thing, though.
Wild.
He would have been the answer, and he's already made his Bond movies, basically,
sure,
like Tenet and
but
Inception.
What would he do with the actual franchise?
Yeah, no, totally.
Question.
But then it's almost like he was the answer, because if he isn't the answer, it's like, why the fuck would we ever care about where James Bond is going next when it doesn't have that same legacy or history and team?
It is 100% a nothing is you had the best possible choice in the world.
After selling your whole like shtick to another company, basically.
Yeah,
because like I said, they had a whole there was like a whole legacy committee that like ran James Bond, and like there was like
the Broccoli.
It was like a business
associates. Yeah,
it's like a respectable like historic thing.
It's the longest running film franchise of all time.
Right, and now all those people will not. No one who has ties with that legacy will even be involved with whatever.
I don't know. Is that true? I mean,
that's what I gather from it. That's what I kind of gathered from it.
It's up to Amazon.
I mean, look at the story here. They have Christopher Nolan. They're not willing to let him just have the final note and the final say on the end result.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea would be, imagine buying James Bond and not having any say over what the next movie would be. That would be...
They're going to want their product placement and shit like that probably smartly interwoven within this thing.
Sony had a lot of product placement in their fucking Bond movies, man.
Yeah. Well, with Bond, you can kind of get away with it because when he's using the gadgets and whatnot, it's kind of like, it's appealing.
I guess.
But then nowadays, it's almost like two in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, technology has been so refined now. It's like a smartphone, a tablet, and a laptop.
It's just a rectangle, different shapes of rectangles, basically.
And then Apple is the number one, and then Galaxy or Google or whatever.
Right. Listen, you're right in the sense that like it feels like a sellout. It feels like a regression in the film industry, which is kind of why I think the Oscars, like they had this like James Bond tribute in the middle of the show, which is very weird, which for the record, just quick comment on the Oscars last night. Maybe the best Oscars ceremony, like maybe I've ever seen. It was so funny. And it was so funny.
Insane you think this way.
Why? You think people didn't like it? Is that the general?
I didn't even watch it. I just saw some clips here and there. I just thought it was just...
I thought it was the perfect balance of like...
Conan seemed like he was bombing in the beginning, but he just like, whatever, I'm getting paid.
I think that's just that's just Conan being Conan. I mean, maybe
he was doing his shtick.
Yeah.
But it's
I think Conan worked
better
as a host. It's good to have hosts. They didn't overdo anything. I didn't go, like there's always going to be a couple stumbles, but as far as I'm concerned, the speeches were good. There's a lot of
apparently people were played off before they could even speak. Some people didn't get speeches, and then you got Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody being so like self-centered and like
he's a douche.
He had gum and then he spat out or like threw at his wife, and then he told this isn't his first rodeo. He told the people stop playing the music, don't cut me off, and then he kept going for even longer than he said, and then he just talked about anti-Semitism and racism towards that or something like that.
It was wild. It was his speech was the worst part of the whole show.
Absolutely, it's just embarrassing.
Right at the end. His is really bad, mostly because I think it's a cardinal sin to say, wait, let me keep going. And then the very next thing he says after they stop playing the music is, what should I say next? He like doesn't know where he wants to go next, but he
just wanted to like gloat in that because he had a whole cancellation of himself, right? Like, didn't he have a Me Too movement? I mean,
what happened was he had this incident a couple years ago, 7 years ago or whatever, with Halle Berry. He like kissed her.
I know that one. Yeah. But that one wasn't there was another one I think that was more serious.
Well, I think that was
that he was like alluding to that he he had lost it all and he's back
he
now.
He came off as a real douchebag, 100%. Like not even. It's like hard to defend at all, especially when you had Ray Fiennes, who's never won an Oscar for that role.
Well, there's that composer too that's been nominated 16 or 17 times or something like that.
Crazy.
He still hasn't won.
I mean, there's always going to be snubs. I just think that
the In Memoriam always misses people who died. It's like, this is just fucking brutal. Like, what are these people thinking?
It's a live performance. Like, there's always going to be some hiccups. That's how I approach it. And again, as someone who will like watch it from start to finish, I thought it was pretty well done, fairly tight for 4 hours. And I just think there's like a lot of like really sweet moments, like of like these genuine moments of like, we only got here yesterday, but we managed to do it. And then they won. And then there's this whole big, there was nice kind of like serendipity in the actual show. And I think what's weird is that I like the show a lot, but this is the first year in, I think, like 5 or 6 years where I didn't watch almost any of the Best Picture nominees. And so I have very little to actually say about those movies because I haven't seen most of them. But, Dune won a couple. Unfortunately, I think not enough. I think Conclave won a couple. I really like Conclave. I think it's a amazing movie. Shame it didn't win more. I don't know. In general, it's fine. The Adrian Brody thing of this thing really put a damper on it. What was it talking about? Why did I bring up the Oscars again?
Just quick thoughts while you wrap up here.
Right. Yes. I thought that they did this James Bond thing because it was kind of like an in memoriam for James Bond. Like it felt like a little bit of like a funeral for that character, because it felt like Hollywood was like saying, oh, well, there goes James Bond, one of our most prestigious franchises in all of Hollywood history. But, what a shame. It's going to Amazon and it'll never be the same again. That seemed to be the sentiment, and seems to continue to be the sentiment online. I think it's too soon to say that. Amazon has made good stuff. I'm willing to give them at least the benefit of the doubt on the first one. But I think it would have been way more badass if they just announced who their next James Bond was right on stage. That would have been cool. So, missed opportunity, in my opinion. All right. Well, in that case, we can wrap it up there. Jeremy, thank you.